Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with this nerd.
Ted.
And today we have another expedition into the Player's Guide to Middle-earth, and today we're going to be discussing virtues.
If you want to jump down the description below, you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
Hey, while you guys are down there in the description below, you can find the link to the Player's Guide to Middle-earth, which you can pick up over on Drive-Thru RPG. Eventually, they are going to be releasing a print book, but right now you can't get it. But for now, PDF.
Woohoo! All right, so in the Middle-earth, virtues are essentially your feats. And for the most of it, they're divided up between a handful of open virtues that anybody can take, and then essentially your race or culture specific virtues, which is a new concept for 5th edition.
There's a couple concepts. Well, no, it's not entirely. Deep No Magic.
Oh, okay.
And there might be some others that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head, but Deep No Magic is definitely one of them.
Right.
But yes, they do introduce the idea that conceptually feats are mainly broken down by cultures or race, as the case may be, in Middle-earth. They also do a couple other things that are really interesting, and that is they make use of the inspiration with your feats as well as your hit die. So basically these resources, one of them is more reliable than the other, but they're both expendable resources that you get to use then in different ways, which I kind of enjoy that. I like that, but I'm also seeing a bunch of power creep as well.
There is definitely some power creep, and there's some things that I look at that it's like, all right, where does this fall in the typical scale? Is this up? Is this down? Is this average? And without having a chance to really sit and play the game, it's hard to really.
It's up. There's no question about it. Up. When you're adding your proficiency bonus to do extra damage, or you're getting pluses to hit, it's up. It can only be one thing. Now there is a factor that it does affect it because Middle-earth is a low magic setting. You don't have wizards slinging spells. You don't have area of effect magic going on. Yes, individually, I believe these characters are going to do more damage. Your martial characters are hitting harder.
But that's all you have.
Right, you're not going to take out a horde of goblins with a fireball.
Correct. So I imagine playing through, the combats are going to be a little bit more lengthy.
Or more lethal, because you don't have the ability to affect the battlefield like you do in a traditional 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons game.
If you use the MMO terms, the wizard in 5th edition is a controller. They're controlling the battlefield by putting up barriers or taking out large groups of monsters. We don't see that.
Right. So. Well, even the cleric and druid and bard to some extent have those abilities as well.
That's true.
But not in Middle-earth. Just as a point of reference to why, yes, these feats may seem a little bit stronger than your traditional D&D feats, but in conjunction with the fact that you don't have some of the things from 5th edition, it may be a mitigating factor, just so you guys are aware and
So we do have, as you mentioned about doing more damage, we have fell-handed, which you don't see too many feats that require you to be a certain level. Like, there's features in classes, but feats don't have that. So fell-handed, it adds...
In 5th edition, you mean? Because in here, there's a bunch of them.
Yes. in 5th edition, you don't see that. But here you are. Fell-handed adds half your proficiency bonus to damage on... Is it melee? Yeah. Successful melee attack. At best, you're talking about getting an extra 3 points of damage. While there might be a little bit of a power creep there, I don't see if that's, to me, is that fully worth a feat.
There's what I'm finding with the virtues in Middle-earth is they're very swingy.
Okay.
As far as you'll get a virtue that is like 2/3 of a feat from 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, and you're like, well, that's kind of meh. Because if you use the feat from 5e, it's clearly better.
Right.
Like there is literally one in here that mimics sharpshooter minus the +10 to damage. So it's like, well, why would anyone ever want to take that? Now the idea might be that you're only using the feats from this player's guide and not using 5th edition feats as well. So there is that. And then there's other ones that are clearly way better than what you can do with any 5th edition feats. Like anytime you're adding your proficiency bonus to the damage, that scales. That's not bad.
Right.
And then there's also feats in here where it's like roll 2 sets of damage dice, take the better one.
Right.
Then there's also another feat that says use your bonus action to roll 2 sets of damage dice, and choose the better one. So they feel very swingy to me, and like that one's obviously limited because you have to suck up your bonus action and you can only do it once around.
Correct. So there are definitely options that pull up the damage median, if you will.
Yes.
I try to avoid those things mainly because it just takes it takes more time to do your turn than it does if you just let me roll one set of damage.
Well, no, it doesn't have to. I mean, if you designate sets of dice to be paired together and roll them all at once,
That's true.
It's not really that big a deal. Oh, here's one. I'm just going to read this one for you guys. Swordmaster. And this is a cultural virtues for barding. A skilled warrior can use the sword to deflect blows that would have otherwise hit their mark. You have learnt to fight defensively using your weapon to full advantage. When fighting with either a broadsword or longsword, add your proficiency bonus to AC. That's disgusting.
Yes.
Because you can combine that with using a shield, and you can combine that with the fighting style duelist. Mm-hmm. So you can basically be extremely tanky. You have an armor class that's going to go up by +6 when you max it out. That's a huge bonus in this edition.
Yes, in all of the 5th edition rules, I was going to mention that one as well. That one
broken
is probably the most broken. I would say based off of the mechanics that I see in here, I would accept that it would go half, similar to the fell-handed.
Okay, yeah, half proficiency bonuses.
But even still, I know there's not a whole lot of quote-unquote magic items in Lord of the Rings, although there's ways to get them. You have it built that still, even just getting a +3 to your AC without doing anything short of taking a feat, that's pretty ridiculous.
My thought was that if you were to take this feat and make it that you could decide that your proficiency bonus either went to defense or offense, that would be a mitigating factor, and I would probably be more okay with that. So it basically offers you an option, but it's still a +6 is a huge bonus to your armor class. It's better than any magic item you can get.
Correct.
Like your sword is a blur, just stopping things, and it's not even like it's one attack. It's everything coming at you. Your armor class is just better.
The other thing is if it used up an action, so if you used your reaction,
your bonus
action, that would be yet another mitigating factor.
Well, there's literally the feat in 5th edition where you do use your reaction to do a parry maneuver. Off the top of my head, I don't remember the name of it, and I think it's either your proficiency bonus, your dex bonus, something that you then get to do for one attack.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is one thing for you guys to be aware of with the virtues. They can be swingy. There's really fun ones too. Like dwarves and elves both have a way to get limited magic, which is very, very. If you're coming from 5th edition Dungeons or for any Dungeons and Dragons, really, it is so low key. It's not even funny. It's like you can lock a door. I think one of them you can create runes.
Well, the feat that you're talking about, or the virtue, that also offers up a new mechanic as well that I thought was pretty interesting. And for instance, one of them is Wood Elf magic. You can get Stinging Arrow, Elf Lights, and Enchanted Sleep. The way it winds up working is when you take the virtue, you get access to one of these abilities, and then in between your adventuring phases, your story arc, when you have your downtime, you can choose to work on your magic, and you get access to another ability.
Right.
And there's a handful of different virtues.
Now we're not into that part of the book yet.
Right.
But we believe that's like the training for a skill or a language in the player's handbook.
So stinging arrows, you can make an arrow flicker as if with magical fire, making it fly true. Spend a hit die to make an automatic ranged critical hit. So that's one of your magics, and that's pretty impressive. Again, it uses that mechanic of hit dice, but you're getting a free crit. That's amazing.
So being at 4th level is the lowest you could possibly take this.
Correct.
Because you're an elf. That being said, you could do that 4 times a day if you want to expend that resource.
Right.
Middle Earth,
four times a day, and then the next day you'd only be able to do it twice.
yes. Now that being said, in Middle Earth, there is not a whole lot of healing going on. You might not want to blow through all your healing hit die.
And that's another reason why they're using the hit die as a resource, because you have to figure out, well, am I going to need this to heal, or am I going to need this to kill something?
Now, there was also there was a couple other virtues that were kind of interesting as well. They gave you, I believe there's 3 of them, and they each give you a servant or a companion. One of them is literally the Ranger Beast Companion. Nice. from 5th edition before they revised the Ranger. It's word for word, it's that thing. And the ability to train abilities is basically giving it the different things. So it doesn't level up per se. You just get to spend your gold and train it, and it gets those. There's another one where there's several different types of retainers you can have, and you just pick the one you want. I don't remember exactly. You might be able to get the other ones as well. And then there was one where I think you basically get a squire.
There's one that's a squire. There's one that's like a, he's like your pack mule. He'll carry your stuff. He'll take care of your clothes. He'll sharpen your weapons. And then there's one that's a scholar that essentially.
Well, yeah, they're part of the 3 that you choose from. That's okay. One virtue.
Oh, okay.
Where there's 3 of them you choose from. The scholar guy. Do you want the porter? That's what it's called, as a porter, or do you want the page?
Nice.
And then there is one where you can get a squire. There's one where you can get a. Although the Beast Companion one is literally you get a hound, right? A specific type of dog. And it's kind of cool, but it's interesting that you get it as a feat. And even that is kind of an improvement over the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons Beastmaster Ranger, because it only takes a feat to get it instead of a class feature.
Yeah, the one where you get a squire, or esquire, if you will, that's under the Men of Minas Tirith.
Yes.
So you have to be from there to get it.
Yeah. All of those are specific cultures. Yeah, one is the one I think with the hound is the Barons, the bear people.
The Hound of Mirkwood is from the Woodmen of Wilderlands, and that's legitimately, here you get
the stats for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, pretty much like I feel like these virtues, these feats would be hard to add into your regular 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons game. You'd have to as the DM, I think you'd have to look at them and kind of weigh them out. And then some of them, like I said, I just feel like you're not getting what you would fully get from just taking the similar feat from 5th edition Player's Handbook.
So I would honestly, I would allow them on a case-by-case basis. I don't have any problem with someone taking a feat to get an animal companion, or legitimately, I don't even think it's worth a feat to get an NPC to follow you around.
Right, literally, you've got Scott in your game that has has a whole posse with him.
Well, actually, between Scott and David, they're just collecting. Scott's collecting people, David is collecting animals. It's I don't have a problem with this cadre. It's the style I run. So to have it limited by a feat, well, you gotta sacrifice this power thing to get a companion. But at the same time, if you're playing in a world where everything is considered dangerous, and just stepping out of the town into the wildlands, not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody's willing to make those kind of sacrifices.
Yeah, it probably does speak to the mentality of the world that you're playing in. And it literally is harder to get people to go out into the world with you. So it does require this special special feature to make it happen. Yeah. So all in all, I feel like the virtues are perfect for this game. Mm-hmm. Going into another game, maybe not so much. And I did find them a little swingy, and I felt like in some places they could have maybe been balanced a little bit better. So far, of the sections that we've done, and we've done the intro, we've done the races, and we've done the classes, this seems to be the weakest spot.
I think that there's the up and down. There's some things that, as you said, are definitely not as good as the 5th edition counterparts, and there's some things that are too. So I like what's here.
And some things are better. But when you're talking about balancing the material against itself, it's very swingy.
Okay.
And that's kind of my point. And there's definitely interesting choices in here as well. Like I said, the elf magic, the dwarf magic. It's weird. The dwarves can actually get a raven companion essentially that does little stuff for them.
Yes.
All the companion stuff, and then there is quite a few different combat ones, and then there's other ones that are more social interaction related as well.
I think between the using your inspiration, using your hit die, and having the feats that grow over time, I'm impressed with what's here, and I think that it fits for the game. It doesn't fit as a direct correlation to 5th. I don't know. I like it.
So, all right. Well, like I said, it'd be good for Middle Earth, but you guys can decide. Let us know down in the comments below. Do you already have the player's guide? Have you already looked through it? What do you think? While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
Don't forget to check out all the great stuff over at nerdarchy.com.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.